Welcome back. So with Valentine's Day fast approaching, I thought we'd read some AITAs today and see whose BF is being an a-hole. AITA for wanting more from my boyfriend on Valentine's Day. Girl, probably not. So today, my boyfriend, 22, male, and I, female, 22, first Valentine's Day as a couple. We met in 2020 online, but due to the pandemic, we didn't meet in person until mid last year, and since then, we've been together. I grew up well looked after and never wanted too much because my mother is a very giving person and always went above and beyond for me. This translated into my love language as I'm a big gift giver and can be extravagant in what I give. I don't expect anyone in my life to be extra the way I am. I often... Do you though? Do you? Question mark. I often pick up little gifts for my boyfriend for no real occasion just because it's how I express my affection. He doesn't often reciprocate, but it usually doesn't matter because he expresses his love in other ways. However, since this Valentine's Day, this was the first we'd be spending as a couple, I was really hoping he'd go out of his way to do something special, especially because I'd communicated him that it meant a lot to me. That sentence says an awful lot. If you went out of your way to let him know ahead of time that he should do something special, I mean, let's see what he did, but he probably didn't do enough. If you're upset about it. Oh no, I lost my spot. Okay. He voiced to me that he wouldn't take the time off work, which I understood, and suggested that arrangements could be made after work or the weekend before. He said that it didn't matter if we didn't celebrate the day because we were going on a trip 2 weeks beforehand. This upset me because the vacation book was never planned to be a consolidation for my Valentine's Day plans, nor did we do anything special on vacation that related to today. The trip was solely planned by me and split financially 50-50, despite me being a student and him working full-time. This isn't anything I find issues with on the normal occasion, but this isn't what I considered a Valentine's Day gift or plan. I explained to him that I'd like to at least celebrate in another way. He said, we'll see. Yeah, he's being a dick. He's being a dick. It's like, if he's going out of his way to find excuses. Work. My dude... I'm going to interject a personal aspect. It's like my dude's busy as heck and he still finds ways to do at least little things throughout. Like, right. If I were to be like, hey, I want to do something, and he'd look up his calendar and be like, oh, dang, I got work that day. Can we do it the day before or the next weekend? Like, you know what I mean? I would never have to say that to him. He would just straight up be like, let's see when we can do it because I can't do it that day. You know what I mean? So he just sounds like he's being an asshole today already. Today, when he told me he had nothing planned for us, I asked if he could plan something for the weekend, and he complained about the prices of everything. All right, come on, leave him. What are you, like, what are you even posting on here for? You know what I mean? Like, come on, girl. Stop sitting here tip-tapping away and go fucking find a new apartment or a new boyfriend or whatever you got it, because... He's being a dick. Like, there's no reason to be so nasty and be like, oh, everything you're asking is such a big deal because I just want you to, like, spend a little bit of time with me. You know what I mean? Like, jeez. I didn't get a gift or anything. I spent hours making a basket filled with his favorite things, and I won't even give it to him today. Good for you, girl. Like, typically, it's kind of like someone starts being an a-hole and the other person starts being an a-hole as well. But this girl went so far and above and beyond to try, like, she kept giving him chances. She was so clear and communicative of, like, way in advance, like, hey, I'd like to do something special for this. Hey, like, don't forget, I want to do something special. Like, we're doing something special, right? And the whole time just being like, no, God, stop asking for so much kind of vibes. It's just like, NTA, come on. Consider this a data point in your new relationship. You've told him how you wanted to be treated, and he's not interested in meeting you there. Period. I'm not even going to read the there's a whole paragraph to that commenter's comment, but period. That's just what it is. It's like, I understand that, like, not every feeling needs to be met, but it's just like, if you're going out of your way to let someone know that something is important to you and that's, like, you want them to do something, and they can't even do anything at all. It's like they can't even do their version of doing something. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes I want what I want, and my partner will give me like his version of what I communicated of what he wants, and I have to be appreciative of that, because if I didn't communicate what exactly I wanted and I just gave him like, oh, I want a broad over, then his way of doing that is what I asked for. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes that's where people get a little confused, when you don't communicate clearly enough what you want, and then the person does what they like, what they're trying, they're thinking is what you're asking for, but it's not quite. You still need to be so appreciative. But I don't even literally know how I got on this aside, because that's not what happened in this story. This girl went so, again, so far and above, and just, he's being a dick. AITA for choosing to be with my heartbroken sister for Valentine's Day rather than my husband. First initial thoughts before reading the story is no. I mean, like, if she's saying heartbroken sister, meaning that it seems like there's some sort of, special, unique situation going on with the sister right now, and she's saying the word husband, which implies like a long-term stable relationship with many Valentine's days together. And so it seems like if something unusual is happening right now on this arbitrary date of February 14th, go be with the person who needs you. And can't you and the husband just do something on a different day or something? Like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's an asshole kind of move, but let's see. So I, 29, female, and the oldest of two siblings, a brother and a sister who I call Emma, 21. I'm extremely protective towards my siblings due to our childhood workaholic parents that were never there. When me and my 30-year-old husband met 7 years ago, I explained to him I'm basically their mother, and when they need me, I will drop everything to go to them. Even before I got married to him, I made him promise that he accepted my loyalty to my siblings would always come first. Okay, again, it's like a unique situation where it's like you're not just the sibling, you know what I mean? You've become more than that, like IRL. Recently, my sister did something stupid which caused her childhood sweetheart, whom she'd been with since she was 15, to ghost her. Since the 9th of February, she's been staying in her home, and I've been helping her deal with her first heartbreak, which she's been taking bad. Of course, Valentine's Day being so close, it was going to be harder for her. You can imagine my anger when my husband decorated our bedroom and got me an over-the-top gift basket with extremely expensive makeup/skincare. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know, did he make a stupid mistake trying to mean well, or did he set out to prove a point that he's been a bit of a crab towards my sister? He hasn't shown her any pity, nor does he support me treating her like an innocent baby. Oh, I see. Okay. Because I was like, why on earth would you be upset about your husband going all out for Valentine's Day for you? You never told us that you, like, communicated him to not to. But I get, it's like, the whole overview seems to be that, like, it seems like a dig at the sister specifically, because he's already kind of been being real petty about her being there, and, well, she's not so innocent, okay. On Valentine's Day, he called me and said, get ready. He was taking me out and surprised me. I honestly was needing a break out, and I was glad we weren't fighting anymore. While I was getting ready, my sister entered the room and had a breakdown, which ended in a panic attack. She was still crying in my arms when my husband entered the room dressed in a suit. I just mouthed, sorry. He threw down the roses, screamed, fuck it, I can't take this shit anymore. He came back home around 3 a.m. and slept on the floor of our bedroom, by his own wishes. Since then, he hasn't spoken to me. My brother told me I was in the right, as family comes first, but my friends are on my husband's side. Wow, okay, processing. That one seems like pretty multifaceted. So it's like the sister's hanging around. No, I don't know. It's like if there'd been somewhere in here where it was pre-communicated of like, hey, love, like, can we just downplay Valentine's a little bit, like, in front of sis, just to not upset her or something, then this big over-the-top thing would be a jab. But it's like, no, I just want to make sure. It's like, nowhere in the story did she say that they had communicated that they wouldn't or anything. So it's like, it seems like he's just trying to go about normal life and, like, be still a couple and not let this thing that he doesn't agree with it affect it too much. Yeah, dude, it sounds like you're the asshole, because, like, you got in a big fight over the V-Day thing, and then you made up to him, and then during the makeup, you do the same thing that you fought about. You know what I mean? It's like, at that point, now I'm not saying he's wrong to yell and throw flowers and storm out, but I can understand reaching one's emotional limit at that point where it's like, you're kind of dragging the man back and forth, where it's like, a fight over V-Day. No, okay, now it's okay, we're making up. Nope, never mind, we're still fighting, and I'm doing the same exact thing we just made up over, so all your efforts were wasted. You know what I mean? That's, in that moment, it's angering. But honestly, the whole thing just seems like two people who perhaps just don't necessarily have their biggest priorities aligned, and it seems to maybe be it causing issues in the relationship that's more than just this one V-Day. AITA for telling my husband that he is insensitive for not wanting to get me a Valentine's Day gift. My husband secretly met another woman 2 times a year for 4 years and complained. Wow, that's off to a crazy start. My husband secretly, I didn't expect it to start like that. I was like, am I reading the right story? My husband secretly met another woman 2 times a year for 4 years and complained about me to her while pretending to me that everything was fine. There was no romance, but he shared a lot with her that he didn't share with me, and she encouraged him to lie to me. She gave him another chance, and I gave him another chance, and we're supposed to be reconciling. My husband's Japanese, and I'm American. Every year we rotate between American and Japanese style Valentines. With Japanese style, the woman gives the man chocolate, which he reciprocates on White Day a month later. My husband is often passive, and I am often labeled as controlling. Recently, I told him I will no longer be making requests of him and allow him to make his own decisions. Usually, I bring up Valentine's Day a few weeks in advance, and we discuss how we'll do it that year. He often can't remember what we did last year, so we have to discuss it. This year, I let him make his own decisions. I bought him chocolate and let him deal with whatever he wants to do it on his own. 3 days before Valentine's Day, he asked me which way we were doing it this year, and I say it's up to him. He seems to remember doing it American style last year, so he wants to do it Japanese style this year. I say okay. The next day, I remember that we actually did Japanese style this year. I tell him so. He asks me what I would like to do then. I say it's up to him. He chooses Japanese style. When I ask him why, he says there's no particular reason, and he didn't think much about it. Yeah, girl, if you're leaving it up to him, the whole reason you switch off is because he obviously prefers that one. If you're going to leave it up to him, he's going to just go with the one he prefers without even thinking about it. I got upset because, girl, I read like 6 times already in this short little story that you were like, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's up to you. And then you get mad when he makes the... I don't know. I got upset because it seems like he made the decision based on what is easier for him rather than considering what I would like. Yeah. Yes. If Valentine's Day is like something that like really matters to you, sure. But if it's something that's more casual to him, then sure. He would pick that based off of his, like, what? I don't like it when people, especially in relationships, expect their partner to make the same decision making in the same way that they are. Are you dating yourself or are you dating that person? You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted the decision made myself, I would have just made it. If she was adamant that she's like, oh, hun, oh, actually, I do remember, like, we did it Japanese, and so for that reason, I would like to do it American this year. He'd be like, cool, hun, we'll do it. I have a feeling. You know what I mean? So it's just like, he just seems like that's not fair to leave it up to him, and then when he chooses, you're mad that he didn't choose the one that you already knew you wanted to choose. At first, I tried not to say anything since I don't want to control his choice. However, I could tell he could tell I was upset and asked me what was wrong. Nuh-uh. I tried not to say anything. So you're over there like stewing in the corner like, nuh-uh, girl. Then we got in a big fight where it basically said he's insensitive and he said I'm overly sensitive. You're being overly sensitive, and I don't even think he's being underly sensitive at all. It's like, I think that he seems pretty much just completely right about this, and she seems completely emotional about it for no reason. If you straight up say it's up to him, then, like, you can't get mad at his decision making. It's a lack of effort, especially after an emotional affair. Yeah, it's like this has nothing to do with Japan. Oh yeah, see, it's like there was a lot of like backgrounds in the beginning. I forgot that was the first thing we started with was the affair. This has nothing to do with V-Day. You're upset about the affair, and it seems like the marriage probably needs to end because I don't know that you're gonna get over it. You don't seem like you're getting over it. You know. The consensus is that I'm the asshole for giving him a choice that was not really a choice, but the deeper issue is the emotional fear and the fact that I haven't forgiven him for it. He checked out of this relationship when I checked out of the relationship when he did that. Yeah. Honestly, you're both assholes. Like, he's an asshole for stepping out of your relationship, and you're an asshole for choosing to stay, but then like still holding the grudge. You know what I mean? It's like one or the other. And I'm not saying which one I'm not saying like you should have left or you should have stayed and not held a grudge, but I'm just saying like you need to make that choice. If you're gonna stay, you can't be nasty to him and be here. You know what I mean? If you're gonna choose your marriage and all that over leaving, then you have to actually do that. Okay, this one appears to be the opposite. Let's see if this girlfriend's the a-hole. Am I AITA for the Valentine's Day present I gave my boyfriend? Context, we've been together for 2.5 years and he's big in the gym. I, female 19, just got a new job and I've been pretty short on money lately. I went shopping for V-Day presents with my boyfriend and I got him a bunch of treats, lifting gloves, and a book. Don't sound like you're that short on money, frankly. I don't know how much lifting gloves are, but that doesn't sound like a cheap gift. Well, when it got to the lifting gloves, he complained and said people are going to think he's a little bitch because of the gloves, which I honestly thought it was going to be a good present. I don't fully understand the whole gym stuff and want to get people who go to the gym, and I thought it would be meaningful, so I was excited to give it to him. I told him I could return it, but he said no, it's fine, and we left it at that. I made dinner that night, a really fancy steak one, potatoes, etc., and I worked really hard on it, and he didn't eat it and ended up in the garbage. He really just brushed everything off, and I gave him and me making dinner. I don't know, I could just be being over dramatic about it, but I thought it was a good gift, Anywho, am I the asshole for giving him a bad gift? Edit, I was kind of bitchy to him the days leading up. I just was PMSing for the first time in a year, and not an excuse for being rude or anything. I just thought to add that. Wow, okay. When he gets it, he says that people are gonna complain because he's a little bitch. Okay, for one, see, this is why I kind of just hate gift-giving culture, because it's like, unless I know for a fact that you are going to love this item, I don't want to purchase it and give it to you, because if you don't love it for a fact, all I've done is just give you a burden. I've spent money, my own time, hard-earned time and money on creating a burden for you, and that's obviously not what I meant to do, right? And so it's like, that's kind of what happened here, where it's like, you didn't know for a fact it was gonna love you. Thought so, and I get that. I'm not like blaming it, but I'm just saying, like, you thought it was gonna make it, but it wasn't. And that's just why I hate gift giving in general. It's like this obligation that at certain times and dates you need to have the perfect gift for the perfect person is just not realistic. It's just like whenever you find that's why I just in my life I don't really put a lot of emphasis on the exact dates or whatever. It's like, for V-Day, if we don't go out on that day, in fact, I specifically don't go out on the day because all the restaurants and everything charge extra when I could just go out literally the day before, after, or on the weekend, or like, I don't know, like V-Day. It's like, for my birthday, if my dude doesn't necessarily do a big ruckus, it's totally fine because he gets me things and thinks of me and brings me things home constantly and like goes out of his way to show care and affection and gift giving to me constantly throughout all the days. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, like today is the 5th of whatever month and so I am presenting you with this perfect gift. It's like, hey, today's a random freaking Tuesday and I thought of you and I saw this thing that's perfect for you, so here it is. Like, that's the kind of gift giving that I really enjoy, But that's a completely an aside. I'm trying to like even process this and think back. What even happened? So like she gets him the gift. He's kind of an a-hole about it to begin with. To say something like that. Oh, people are gonna think I'm a little bitch because of the gloves. He could have just said it so much. Like, she put quotes on that, and I'm pretty sure that's, like, the quote that he said at that point. So it's like, you really should have just said, like, you know, thank you so much, but I'm just, you know, I appreciate the effort, but I'm not sure that this is something that I would use, or at least, you know what I mean? You don't have to be like, oh, God, I'm gonna be a bitch in this. Like, why do people speak this way? For one, I do have a suspicion that, like, I know she put it in quotes, but I'm just like, do guys really speak like this to their girlfriends? Like, in the other one too, it's like they're just saying really nasty, like, they're saying things that need to be presented, but, like, in a really unconstructive ways. I don't know. It's just, I can't imagine staying in a relationship where someone says, like, "Ugh, God, you're big," or, like, "Ugh, God, I hate this gift," or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like, if you need to confront something about something that's actually a problem, or you don't particularly care for the gift, because I understand if you don't like that gift, don't encourage, but I love it in fake, because they'll get you more of that and you don't want. It's like, just say, like, oh, thank you so much for the effort. I'm not sure, you know, how this fits into my gym routine. I might give it a try. You know, give them the impression that it wasn't the best gift, but you're still appreciative. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, you don't want to, like, tell them to get you more of that, but also, like, you can be constructive about the way that you speak to people, And these men, like, these people in these comments are on these posts are putting it in quotes as if, like, they're saying exactly this. So if someone's speaking to you that way, that's crazy. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. If someone was speaking to me that way, I wouldn't stick around. AITA, Valentine's Day mishap. I semi-regularly buy the wife flowers from Costco because they're nice, last a while, and reasonably priced. Well, those are all kind of crappy reasons to buy someone flowers, frankly. But okay. I almost always get 2 dozen roses for no other reason than they make her happy, since she likes flowers. Okay, at least there's something about that. I occasionally get a thank you if I'm lucky. So a few weeks ago I'm at Costco, I do all the grocery shopping, and I grab a few dozen roses because she had a bad day at work. I get home and she reminds me that she's leaving the next day for a work trip. Didn't really get a thank you. She gets back from the trip, and later that day I get a call that my dad is unexpectedly moving to the ICU. He's recovering from a surgery that didn't go well. The next day I hop in the car and drive 3 states away to see my parents. When I get there I realize this is probably the end for him. My dad and I always like ice cream, so while he was still lucid, I ran down the street to our favorite place and grabbed some scoops to cheer him up. I see some Valentine's Day chocolate and grabbed some for my wife, not really thinking I'd be back for V-Day or even in the mood, but I'd get it anyways. My dad passes away a few days later, and the next day I have to drive back 3 states to pick up my kids and bring them back. Wife has a work trip she can't get out of, so she meets us up a few days later for the funeral. While I was back picking up my kids, I leave the chocolate on my desk. I forgot to put it on her nightstand, not really thinking about V-Day. Completely understandable. So the funeral's on Friday. On Sunday, my wife takes the kids back home 3 states away, and I stay behind to help my mom since this was unexpected. I was only going to stay for a few days, but my wife convinced me to stay a week. Tuesday rolls around just a few days after my dad passed away, and the first thing I do is text her, "Happy Valentine's Day, sorry not there, yada yada." The response, "Stuck in traffic. Not feeling the love." Okay. She's in the car, no big deal. Didn't hear from her again until she calls on the way home from work. Had a short, normal conversation and really didn't discuss much or even V-Day. She gets the kids to bed and texts me that she's drinking alone on V-Day. This turns into a huge fight about how I didn't send her flowers or order her dinner for the night. She didn't tell me she was... Girl, stop it. She didn't tell me when she would be back from the kids' activities or she had any plans for the night. I'm 3 states away. How am I supposed to know, when to order dinner? I told her I bought her chocolates while my dad was in the ICU. I left it on my desk. She sends me a picture of it in the garbage. Girl. So in the end, my wife is pissed at me for not buying flowers or ordering her dinner while I'm 3 states away at my dad's funeral. I told her we could do something when I'm back in town in a few days. AITA for not ordering her something on Valentine's Day. Nope. Am I being insensitive? Nope. Let me scroll down. Is this real? I can't even. NTA. Like, come on. Stop. Is this real? Like, I feel like sometimes people just post stories on here because they just want, like, people to talk to or, like, people to comment on their stuff. Because, like, girl. Or, wait, no, the guy is asking about the girl. Like, the girl's being insane. Come on. That's crazy. Like, how many V-Days do you have? You're even telling her you'll celebrate when you get back. You even did a little something of picking her up a chocolate. And to go so nastily out of the way of throwing in the trash, even, like, she's being nasty. Come on. And again, you even mentioned in the beginning that's like you regularly buy her flowers because she makes her happy, and she's not really being as appreciative as she should. So it's just kind of like the whole overview of the whole story is just like over time, your wife has really become sort of complacent with the things that you're doing, and not really that she's kind of seemed to kind of come to see them as expected and stop appreciating them as much. And that's gonna be a real problem. It's a problem. Because she's being nasty and crazy. Like, your dad literally just passed. Come on, there's priorities. There's priorities. Again, it's like, I think that was kind of mirroring the stories from before, where it's like, if there's special circumstances, yeah, the sister, right? It's like, if there's special circumstances, y'all don't have to be together on this exact day, doing an exact planned V-Day, like, stereotypical thing. People make too much of that, sometimes I feel like. And the wife is absolutely making too much of that in this case. Anyways, I think I've heard enough about people being awful to each other around Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining me. That was very fun to read for a while. If you like that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs. I just hit my hand. Ouch. Don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.